Okay, so I'm gonna just. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of show you what I'm doing as far as the word search, and I'm sure I've probably made this way out of proportion as far as um, trying to test myself, and that's basically what I'm trying to test myself. So if you're in here, I have numerous text documents. They're all right here. They each have a text of something from a book. Minus these two, I didn't get them in there yet. But so resource files got text. I got the header file, which is file manipulator, and this is just basically holding everything that's going to manipulate the files and functions. It also holds. I don't know why I'm not just showing you. So it also holds my structures. I chose structures just because they're basically auto public classes, and even so I don't actually need public here because they're basically public. But I use structures usually just when I'm holding variables and I'm not really trying to do anything. So it's just in variable, out variable, kind of adjust them. So I have a genre, which via a selector method you come in here and this will assign the text string to the file method or open file method that I have, and then it opens a file based off of whatever they pick here. The one that I'm trying to figure out so that way I can also make the file of a person putting in 10 words in addition to them making their own story and searching against their own story is the custom and then the word searchable words file. Um, I have a structure for a vector of the searchable words string. So that's basically once they make their searchable word file, I take it back, I chop it up by string, and then load each string into the vector as a list. And that has been working absolutely really well for the in files. I also have an out file here in the file manipulation structure. It's different than the header, so it's not having any issues with that snagging there. But for in file, this is just the file that comes in, gets worded to that, and then opens up that file, looks at the strings, and then loads. I have another function that loads it into file list, which is just the list of the words cut up into strings from the file. Dialog box is just instructions. Here are all the methods I have. I have user input int, user input string, just so people could put in numbers and all that goodness. Open file string, open file create file. So the reason these are strings is because I want to return the file name that they're opening so I can use it in other functions. And the reason I have it passed in is so that you can pass in the file name that you're opening based on whether or not you put in a custom file. So I'm going to make a file, choose a file, and it gets thrown into here, and I'll show you that in the file manipulator. Create file, same concept. This is the one I'm having issues with. This is the one that I can make the file, I can pass in the file name, I can pass in the file name with the file, you know, test.txt, and then it skips that like loading it with it doesn't allow the user to actually put anything in. And I've tried the .app, the append, the open file.append. I've tried to just put in the user input to just see if it would just shove stuff that I put in there. Checks access. This is to see if files that are open file get opened, and then if not, it'll say, oh, it's not open. Create file. This is a check that I was trying to see if I can create a file. And so because this doesn't throw file is not created or not open, it's showing me that it's making it, and I'm seeing it run through the entire code. And then I go to load file to vector. And so this is where I would take all of the items from one of the files that are opened from open file and take each string and load it into the vector. And so it takes the file name that I've opened, takes that file inside of it, and just is like, all right, here are all the words. Blah, they're all in there, one word at a time. Um, couple of snags on that too. I don't know how to get rid of punctuation marks, and I don't know how to adjust words to um, uh, different cases. So if you were to put in, let's just say, "Hi, my name is Jay," in there, and you had capital H for hi, and all the other words for hi that are lowercase technically wouldn't be picked up because you'd be searching for capital H hi. Or vice versa, you'd be searching for hi, hi with a lowercase, and miss hi, my name is Jay, so it would show a 0 in that actual string because it's not the exact. So I don't know how to amend that yet. Um, then we have the reset vector. So at the end of each file, after it's closed, I reset the vector so that way I'm not printing every single file that's loaded up into this vector, because that's just, I saw that was being a mess, and so this just reinitializes vector, specifically this vector file list to 0. If I had the word search one at the end of the program, I would initialize it back to 0. Alright, close file just does what it does. It's supposed to close file. I have it set up so it can close both in file and out file, and it gets called appropriately at the end of each little scope. Display is currently basically just showing me all of the things that I'm getting from OpenFile. It will be a little bit different once we get there. This will basically be what displays the comparables, and then the results. Select genre. This is so that you can select a genre of text, a group of text against your words. I apologize. I don't get to talk too much in the morning. Loop selector. This is just a simple function to loop the genre selector, and so you just stay in there. And then run selection. I notice that in selection or select genre, I had all of the whatchamacallits right here. I had all of this right here in each one of these if statements, and so I just passed in the right genre and then sent it back down to here through the file. And so if we run it, I can show you what's happening, and I'll just do some marks here. So we'll do check, 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 and we'll do these two as well. And I'm just going to go right into, I want to do that one, that one. We won't reset the vector right now, but we'll do load, we'll do the while, we'll do the actually doing it, check creation, and then create file, and then we'll have the return, and then we'll do the open file. And I know it seems really excessive, but in theory, this is the path that this should take. And it's driving me nuts because I cannot get it to do anything. And so I've seen numerous where you do curly brackets without the open and you just initialize it. And I don't know if it's because it's initialized here, if the reason I can't make a file is because during the initialization of it, there's nothing. But I mean, I should still be able to modify it, right? Even if there's a file of nothingness there, I should be able to construct it and modify it later, right? In theory. At least in my head I can. And that's where this is happening. Going to file.manipulation, which is in the structure here, .out file, again in the structure up there, .open file, the file that's passed in, which in this case is custom, which is assigned a string, so the text name in theory is being created, test.text here, right? And then passed in here. And then here it's supposed to literally just be, it's got the mode of I can read it, I can write it, I can append it. And for some reason, I can't do anything here with it. If I just do append, I can't do anything. If I just do in, It won't even read it to load the vector. If I just do out, it won't let me write to it. And then I'm supposed to return the file just as I do with open file so I can use it in the rest of the methods. So let's run it real quick. It'll run fine. A lot of cannot find things over here. I don't know, maybe that's the cause of it. I'm not super great at the output debugger. But let me just give you a taste of what it does. Normally, one, I want to read the sci-fi file, right? That's embarrassing. Oh, that's why. Okay, because I have to continue. All right, so I'll continue. I'm going to minimize this so that way we can see both things happen in here. So minimize. Here it goes to, it passed in sci-fi.txt, right? See it right here? And then it goes right here, passes sci-fi.txt into the open file, making sure that this file is actually open, and then it chops it up by string, and then it's considered in because I'm reading it, right? So I'll hit continue. It goes back down here. It returns file.txt. All the stuff in there, right? So we keep going. All right, cool. So now load file to vector, right? So it's going to, while file manipulation is greater than file name, so while there's still more stuff less than file name, which is the file.txt, we're going to go push back every string into the vector. So we're, bam, doing it. It'll do this for a while, and if you see it, I think this is quite a hefty thing. So I'm going to continue. Actually, I probably should just undo these and then hit continue. Okay, so if you see here, it goes all the way through the Templars, the book, Hell's Reach, goes all the way through the stuff. And it's designed to chop it up. And this is what I'm talking about. See how it has the period, orcs has the comma. So if I wanted to type orcs or something, it wouldn't do it, you know? I can go by character, but that's another thing, the question mark here. Anywho, moving on from that issue, back to the normal one. So that's down here. It's in close file, right? And it's going to it's going to close the in file and just close the out file, just in case there's something out there, right? Bam. And it goes to close out file and does all of its stuff. All right, so we go to open file again, sci-fi.txt return, while, and I think this is because I've been typing in a massive amount of ones. But now we're back here, right? We're back at, where is our arrow? Arrow, where'd you go? That's why I can't have nice things. Sci-fi, so it's back at the selector. So I want to go here. Delete the one. We'll go for a 2, right? 2. So it's gonna load in the next story, right? Basically, open the file, set it to the right place. Bam, here's all the file. It does not use the file one, right? Because we got the reset vector, which is awesome. So we'll continue. It closes out all the stuff. Excellent. Brings me back to here. So now I'm going to do the custom one, right? I wanted it to be able, and I don't even have the list of words for the player to select yet because I'm having trouble making a file in general. I figured if I can make the file for custom, I can make a file for the 10 words that people want. You know, custom being like, I'm going to type my own short story and have it compared against it, right? So I tried that. So we'll do that here. So here's where it goes. Genre, custom input, right? Because genre had just blank. It was just initialized as blank. You can see that right here. So I needed a string, right? Put in a string. So here I'm going to put in test.text. I'm also going to make sure that in here I don't have anything to test against or to accidentally, I get it. Because as you can see, it makes the file fun. That was another test that I did. You know, all the rest of them are supposed to be there. So if we go here, we'll go to continue. It'll pop up that. I can hit enter. So if you see test.text gets put into the structure genre custom variable. It's there. And then I'll hit continue. I'll go to create file because I can't open a file unless I create a file, right? And that is what is supposed to be here. And I don't know if, in theory, I'm trying to open a file that technically doesn't exist here, and I see that, but when I try and initialize here, it's not letting me. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. So, we keep going, and it'll go here. It's pushing test.text in there. It's supposed to, at this point, in theory, pop back over to here and let me just put in stuff. Or, yeah, to amend or append the file or put into the file. So I'm going to hit continue. I'm going to keep following the flow. So I'm thinking, all right, I didn't get to actually put anything in here. Sometimes it lets me, sometimes it doesn't. I'll type in J, but it's not going to do anything because of the stuff. In fact, that J will eventually reconnect, and because it's not a number for the if-then statement for file selection, it's going to kick me to error and then kick me out of the program for the else statement for that. But we're going to check to see if it's created. So it goes to check to see if it's created, and to me, it's doing everything correct. It's all right, that's created. Open file, so I created it, check to see if it's created. Now we're going to try and open it. It's passing in text. It's returning in text, but because there's nothing in there, when I go to load the vector, it's like, hey, yeah, we'll do all this stuff, but there's nothing in there, so we don't even have to really be in there, And then it goes to display, there's nothing to display. Then it goes to close file, it closes file. Then it goes to, well, this is it, closing the file. Then it pops up J, right? Because I've loaded that into there prior, and because that's not a number, even though I thought I was putting in substance or content into the new file that I made, which wasn't happening, it goes, this isn't a number, it's not part of the selection of the list here, and then error, select genre function. That's how I just figure out what functions are having errors and stuff. And then that's basically it. And I come here, I hit enter, and then it closes. So it works, but it doesn't. And so if we go back up here to the file create file, right? And I see the code that you've given us for sure, given me in here. And it's super simple. It's like call main, write to my file, void, write to my file. And then here you have the OIF stream, my file, right? And so in theory, in my structure, I have fstream. I've done this with O, I've done this with I, I've done this with I. This doesn't destroy the code at all as far as anything in here, right? Because I got the I file right here, the O file right here. I just use F because then I can manipulate at will. But then I have the myfile.open, right? So then I have the calling to the structure, calling to the file in the structure, calling to the variable in the structure, .open, right? And then in theory, the text should be this right here. So the quoted text should be the string that comes in that you input down at the bottom. Excellent, cool. Cout, write Dune to a file. Okay, so if I were to do cout, and I mean, we'll just test this. I mean, I'll test this for sure. We'll try it. I mean, I will give it a go. So right here, this would in theory just be the file dot open and then a string, correct? Cout, write Dune to a file. So then if I go here and I do, let's just give it a go, because if it was this simple, I'm gonna hate myself. But I gotta go to file dot manipulation, or sorry, dot output file, and I could have swore I've tried something like this, and because I want the player to type it, I don't want it to be a static string. You know what I mean? Um, I'm trying to either there was a put line in or push something, but I mean I'm fine with the file just being this infinitely long line. I don't care about that, you know, because in the end it's getting cut up anyway. I'm sure that's proper or not very proper, but and then I just do user input string, right? So if I do this, and so if I run this, which I believe I have attempted this style before, right? And then in the end, you can just change this as many times as you want, right? Um, we'll load it, and we'll go straight to and see what happens. But it's just been the most frustrating thing, and I swear I've did this. So if it works this time, I'm gonna hate my life. But so let's do j dot text. No, that's not where I want that. Gotta be in here. So j dot text. I'll hit enter. Continue. I messed that up. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? You know what? I gotta start it over because that one little thing is gonna absolutely jack up everything, right? And we'll make sure that all this stuff is deleted. Nothing else in there. All right, so run. And I'm sorry this video is so long. It's just I need some more one-on-one help. I tried to ask Brandon when he could do something. He can't do something until Saturday. I'm trying to not let things linger, but I'm also trying to really learn this stuff correct. I mean, you know how I like to learn all that goodness. I like to learn it right, regardless of the time frames, because that's what I'm paying for is to learn everything correctly. So bam, there we go. We'll continue. So we got the j.text. It's in there. It's going to go to create file, j.text, and then we'll continue. All right, so it's asking me for here. So I'm going to be a hi. This is a test. We'll put a period. Why not? Enter. Okay, so j.text, continue. I'm really going to be sad if it was that simple. So it's going to check create. It's created. J.text, open file. It's going to open the file. It's going to do the things. J.text, check access. It's good. J.text. And here is where, see, that's where it goes again. And it does not actually read stuff in it. And so either it's not opening the file and it's missing it somewhere. But I'm trying to make this very autonomous. I want these functions. I want these structures. I'm really trying to test myself here. I go to display. Again, nothing. Close file. Continue. I didn't select anything, or it's reading. Sorry, it's reading again the j.text or the hi. This is a test as the number again, so it goes straight to error, and that's my life right there. You know, I'll hit. Oh, I don't want it there. And that's the problem I'm having right here. And so I don't know if it's because this is in a class or a structure, if that's what's jacking it up. And it's supposed to go to the file list because this file vector right here, or this vector file list, is supposed to be the list of words from the files that you open. Just like this one will be for the file, the vector, the list of words from the 10 words that you make to actually put into a file. So you basically what I wanted to do was file, put in your 10 words, bam, they get put into a list because they read out. And I want that to all be done via, an open file thing, right? For this one, I'll probably have to do a separate one because it's a separate list, or I can pass in a vector for here. Then I have the outstream, this one right here, which is the list of words from the paragraphs, and then I just want to compare them. But I do need some bug working with this, so just if you don't mind, let me know. That would be awesome. Thank you.